Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Rocha, Kwadash, Ma'amath. I want to give double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Also, I want to give double honors to my elder, Aharawan Ban Yasharala of the Lions Den Camp, here in Jacksonville, Florida. Shalom to the sincere Akim, pushing his truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm Nakar Karab Ban Yasharala, coming out of the Lions Den Camp of Yasharala, here in Jacksonville, Florida. Not today, I'll be coming out of a lesson. It's an impromptu, but I do have some scriptures planned. But it is based on, it is about how this devil is going to try to take the men of the Lord and paint us in a negative light. He's going to try to literally demonize us, like to the point to where this devil is going to have fake AI footage of us committing heinous, deplorable crimes and acts, something that we don't do. And a lot of Akim around the four corners of the earth that have family or whatever that they've told about the truth, it's a possibility that they're going to even believe it, even though they have not ever seen you move like that. Out of the 20 plus years of them knowing you, they should be able to know for a fact that you don't move or go that way. But nonetheless, this devil is going to come at the men of the Lord. And again, like I was saying, he's going to be trying to use every stop available. Isaiah 54:17. As a matter of fact, I'm going to just go and get it. I ain't going to quote it. I'm going to go and get it. It's Isaiah 54:17. It says, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord." So no weapon that is going to be formed against us is going to prosper. So the fact that this devil is going to be trying to use fake footage, AI footage, trying to say that brothers is committing heinous, wicked, sinful acts, deplorable acts, though the devil is going to form the weapon, it's not going to prosper against the true men of the Lord. And every tongue that's going to rise up against us in judgment, try to talk down upon us, guess what? That tongue is going to be condemned. We're going to condemn them. Meaning we're going to give them their judgment, meaning speak this truth unto them and let them know, like, yeah, you believe this, you might have went for it, but guess what? The Lord got something for you. And this is the heritage of the servants, because our righteousness is of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, saith the Lord. So our righteousness, our holiness, that is upon us at whatever level the Lord has bestowed upon us, that is of the Lord Yahweh. But nonetheless, this devil, he's gonna really come at the men of the Lord for real. He's gonna really come, and he gonna use his little AI crap. He's gonna use fake news, media propaganda. He's going to use all of these things. He's going to try to use the AI voice thing to make it sound like brothers are saying things they're not saying, make it sound like they're for things that they're not for, and this is all against the true men of the Lord. This is not going to be against anybody that's wicked and following him. It's going to be against those who are righteous, those who are holy, those who speak the truth, which is treason in this devil's kingdom. And the truth of the matter is, with it, it may cause some Akim to be put to death. But guess what? They're going to be with the Lord immediately. But nonetheless, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, we are not ignorant of his devices." So because we know that this devil is going to come with, he's going to come with, we know that the Lord is going to lift up that standard and protect his men, protect his elect, like he says in the scriptures in Sirach, if I'm not mistaken. The Lord is going to protect his elect because he has care for those that love him. He's going to step in. We can read all through the scriptures where the Lord has stepped in for those who love him, and he protected them with a great protection. And whatever said enemy or whatever came, he overthrowed it with a mighty great overthrow. Kingdom, people, man, whatever. So the Lord, Salakia, Satan is not going to get an advantage over us because we are not ignorant of his devices. We know what this devil is going to do. We know what's going to happen. We know how this devil is going to move. But 2/3 of our people, they're ignorant of Satan's devices. So guess what? Satan is going to get an advantage over them. And when they really come with all this fake news, propaganda, media, bull crap, trying to demonize the men of the Lord, don't be bothered too much. Because it is going to bother you, because you've known somebody your whole life, and then they see some bull crap on TV and they look at you like you're really about that, and you ain't never ever showed those kind of signs or whatever. I would say don't be bothered too much, but understand and know that the Lord said this was going to happen. So we are not ignorant of this devil's devices. Let's continue. Because the reason why this devil coming at us, you know what, I'm going to go to Acts chapter 5 first before I go to Matthew. Let's go to Acts chapter 5. They're just like they took and locked up Peter and the other apostles. Let me make sure that it is Peter. I don't want to. Let's see. Yes. Peter and the other apostles. And when they locked Peter and the other apostles up, what did they lock them up for? They locked them up for preaching the truth. They locked them up for preaching the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. They locked them up for being righteous, for being holy, for being separate, set aside, not like everybody else. This is why Peter and the other apostles were locked up, you know. But I'm gonna start at verse 28, and it says, no. You know what? I'm gonna start up. I ain't gonna start up too high. So this is. I'll give a summary of it. Oh snap. Peter and the other apostles was going around preaching the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. But when they got locked up, they was delivered by an angel, meaning the Lord sent the angel to let them out of prison. And when, again, the wicked Sadducees and Pharisees, when they came up, it's right here. I ain't gonna do too much talking. But anyway, it says, then the high priest rose up, and all they that were with him, which is Salakia, the sect of the Sadducees, and were filled with indignation. Why were they filled with indignation? Because Peter and the other apostles were doing the work. They were preaching Yahweh Shai. They were preaching the gospel. They was healing the sick, making the lame walk. They was doing what the Lord commissioned them to do. And they rose up. These wicked Sadducees and Pharisees, they got mad. They was filled with indignation. They became mad because they felt like the true men of the Lord was messing with their stability. And that's how this devil feels in this kingdom. He feels like because we preach the truth of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, we're messing with the stability of his kingdom. But he doesn't understand, he doesn't know that all through the scriptures, it was never ever meant to last. The stability of his kingdom was always going to crumble and become rocky and fall down. But let's continue. It says, and laid their hands on the apostles and put them in common prison. So they took the apostles and put them in prison. This is, but the angel of the Lord by night opened the prison doors and brought them forth and said, go, stand and speak in the temple to the people all the words of this life. And this could very well happen to us, Akim, around the four corners of earth. Esau might grab him and lock him up, and something might happen, and the Lord send an angel or allow something to happen when them brothers just walk right out of there with no problem. Or the devil, he might have all this fake false evidence against them, like, yeah, we're gonna lock y'all, we're gonna send y'all away forever. Y'all ain't never ever gonna see that. And then guess what? Something come through and case dismissed. And whatever. But let's continue. This can very well happen because it happened here in Acts chapter 5 to Peter and the other apostles. So when the Lord let them go, what did he say? The Lord said, so when the Lord used the angel to let them go, what did the angel tell them? Hey, continue doing the work, continue to preach. But let's continue. It says, and when they heard it, they entered into the temple early in the morning and taught. But the high priest came, and they that were with him, and called the council together, all the senate of the children of Israel, and sent to the prison to have them brought. So the angel let them out, and then they went out and started teaching. And the priests and all his little constituents together, and all the children of Israel sent to have them brought out of prison. Why? To stand before a magistrate, to stand before a judge or a council. That's going to happen to Akim. It's going to happen to us. So let's continue. Verse 22 says, but when the officers came and found them not in prison, in the prison, Salakia, they turned and told. So the officers went to look for them and didn't find them there, saying, the prison truly we found shut with all safety, and the keepers standing without before the doors. But when we opened, we found no man within. So it was like we had them locked tight, we had them guarded, we had everything right. And we got ready to go in there and with nobody there. Again, using that analogy, the devil might lock brothers up and the Lord might let them brothers free. I'm talking about like walk past guards, walk past security cameras and everything, and they not see nothing. And then when they think they in there, guess what? They not there. What happened? How did they, stuff like that. Or anything. Like the Lord gonna intervene. Verse 24, and it says, now when the high priest and the captain of the temple and the chief priest heard these things, they doubted of them whereunto, so like this would grow. Real quick, let me go here. Let me just do this real fast. There we go. Back at Acts chapter 5, I had to. But again, now when the high priest and the captain of the temple and the chief priest heard these things, they doubted of whereunto this would grow. So when they heard it, they were perplexed and they were wondering, like, well, how in the flying flip phone did we lock up these men? We had them under lock and key. We had them guarded well, and they still got out and walked away. Well, how did this happen? They were perplexed. That's what it says right here. And it says, and they doubted of them whereunto this thing would grow. I mean, they have what you mean? You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. It says, then came one and told them, saying, behold, the men whom ye put in prison are standing in the temple and teaching. So somebody came in like, hey, they in the temple, they teaching. Then the captain went with the officers and brought them without violence, for they feared the people, lest they should have been stoned. So the officers, the people that locked them up, they were scared because they didn't want the public to be like, why y'all locking up innocent men? They was fear. They was in fear of a blowback or an uprising, So that's what this was. And they were scared that the people would grab them and take them to a rock concert, i.e. stone them. And not the men of the Lord, the people that was locking the men of the Lord up. The priests and the captain and all of them. But let's continue. It says, and when they had brought them, they set them before the council of the high priest and the high priest. So like you asked them, kind of still at work right now. I don't know why, but let's continue. We're going to do this work though. It's the real work right here. That's just that other stuff that we have to do for Esau. But let's continue. But they was brought before the council, and the high priest asked him, my point, verse 28, saying, did we not straightly command you that you should not teach in his name, in this name, Salakia, and that name was Yahushai, by the way. It says, and behold, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine and intend to bring this man's blood upon us. So they was like, didn't we tell you not to teach in the name? Didn't we tell you that you shouldn't be preaching this truth? Didn't we tell you to stop doing that? And the same thing is going to apply to this day and time. They're going to try to make it seem like it's bad for us to preach about the scriptures, for us to teach about what's actually in the scriptures, when they have not seen one true man of the Lord that calls on the names of Yahweh and Yahushai and believe in the true doctrine, have not seen not one of those brothers, one of those men do something crazy. But everybody else, fallouts, bug outs, ones that crept in unawares, we've seen all them do something foolish, stupid, and crazy. But the true men of the Lord have not done this thing. But that's why we're going to be brought before. That's why this devil is going to he's going to do all this. I'll say try, and he's going to form the weapon, but it ain't going to prosper. But that's what's going on. And guess what? We're going to be on trial. We're going to be before councils and magistrates because of what we speak and what we believe in and what we stand for. Not because we actually committed a real crime. Not because we actually did something so heinous that we need to be brought before council. No, it's because we speaking this truth. And this devil is getting mad at that. And he's really going to try to demonize brothers. Fake news, propaganda, fake AI footage, all of that. AI voiceover things of things you're not saying, conversations that you are not even you wouldn't even think in a million years to be a part of. This devil gonna have all of that. But the Lord says that weapon gonna form, but it's not gonna prosper. They're gonna try to judge us, but we're gonna condemn them through the words of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. And they're gonna find, that's when they're gonna see that our righteousness is the righteousness of the Lord. It comes from Him. It don't come from man. You can't do anything against the truth. You can do everything for it. But let's continue. I kind of got off point a little bit. But they was basically saying, don't preach in the name. Didn't we tell you not to do this? Did we tell you not to preach in the name of Yahweh Shai? Now you trying to bring this man's blood upon us, meaning i.e. now you trying to make us guilty. But they are guilty. But this is what Peter said, and he cut him. He says, then Peter answered. So like I'm going to read that again. It says, then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey Yahweh rather than men. So, and guess what? They're going to do the same thing with us. And guess what? We're going to tell them, hey, we follow Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. We don't follow the things of men. We don't bow to you. We bow to the Lord. And the Lord ain't told us not one time to get in the uprising, to start a mutiny, to do any of these things. He told us to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. He told us that we're sheep in the midst of wolves. And we got to play our part and walk our path. Not rise up. We ain't lions. We lions, but the Lord ain't gave us that power to fully walk in that position. Yeah, i.e. hunters. We not there. We fishers right now. We fish to a sea of people. And we catch the elect and we bring them in. We throw back 2/3, but they still need to hear this truth. But proverbially, of course, throw them back in the water. Yeah, you can't use you. You are unclean. You are unclean fish. You got skin and tentacles. We looking for scales and fins over here. We looking for the righteous. But let's continue. I'm gonna jump down because while they was before the magistrates or the council, Gamaliel, he stood up. But man, he was a doctor of the law and he had a reputation among all people, so he was well known. And he commanded to put the apostles forth a little time, meaning he was like basically saying, look here, give them a little, we'll say a recess. You know, we're gonna use that terminology because since they are in the courtroom or courthouse or whatever, a recess. And it says he put forth a little while. He was like, hey, hold on real quick. And he sent they deliberated. They deliberated. And what he was saying is, let's continue, but let's go. It says, then stood up one, Salakia, in the council, a Pharisee named Gamaliel, and all the Pharisees and Sadducees were not wicked. There were righteous Pharisees as well, Sadducees and Pharisees too, that really truly believed in the name and on the name and the prophecies of Yahweh Shai and everything that came with Yahweh Shai, that really for real believed. But the wicked ones was the ones that were mad, that have a problem. And it says, but again, there stood up one in the council, a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a doctor of law, had in reputation among all the people, and commanded to put the apostles forth a little space. And he said unto them, ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do with touching this man. So he's like, you need to pay attention. Take heed to yourself. Look at what you're finna do. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. For behold, so like before these days rose up through this boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who were slain, and all as many as obeyed him were scattered and brought to naught. So again, you had this guy named Theudas, whatever he was claiming to be. Guess what? He had a large following. He was slain, put to death. Guess what? All his followers scattered. Let's continue. After this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of taxing, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all even as many obeyed him were dispersed. So again, you had another that rose up, and guess what? He was disposed of, and his followers dispersed. But let's continue. Verse 38, it says, And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. So Gamaliel was using wisdom. He was like, check it out, leave them alone. Let them be. If it's of man, and it is man-made, guess what? It's gonna fizzle out and fade away. It's gonna become nothing. But let's continue, verse 39. But if it be of Yahweh, ye cannot overthrow it, lest haply ye be found to fight against the Lord. And that's what this devil is doing. See, this devil has been trying to overthrow this, and he can't overthrow the truth. It ain't going nowhere. It's been around since the 60s. It's still here. That's how you know that it is not of the Lord. But this devil, he can't overthrow it. And he's going to be found to be fighting against the Heavenly Father himself. Which, that's a losing battle. You never ever win that battle. You ain't got not one person or man on this earth that say they won a battle against the Lord. So, again, even with that, the weapons are going to form, as my elder have said, the weapons are going to form. The devil is going to form, but the Lord is not going to allow them to prosper. Some brothers could be put behind bars, yeah. But as we've seen through Acts chapter 5, the Lord may send an angel and let them brothers out. Or the Lord might have something that happen, a power outage or something go off and the power shut off, and then everything reset and all the doors open. And them brothers walk out. Brothers might be in a courthouse before magistrates, before the council, with all this fake false evidence against them that this devil is drummed up and made up. And guess what? And it don't stick. Them brothers walk out scot-free. Nothing pinned to them. And that's going to happen, though. That's really, truly going to happen. Some brothers, the Lord may have a brother get beat. Revelation, let's go there. Let's go there. Where we at? Revelations. This is Revelation chapter 2. I'll let back to Peter. Revelation chapter 2. Let's see what it says here. Verse 10. And it says, Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye shall be tried, that ye may, Salakia, be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So again, some brothers are going to be thrown in prison. Them brothers might spend some time there. I don't know how long that's going to be, but the Lord does. But some brothers may spend time, but the Lord says don't fear those things. Because some brothers are going to be cast into prison or put in lockup for what? For Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, for the names, for the truth, for the faith, for really truly believing, for standing on the fact that you're an Israelite. Believing on the truth. And a brother's going to have tribulation, meaning some trying times. It's going to be hard times for certain brothers. Who knows who those brothers are? The Lord knows. But the Lord says, be faithful unto death. And the Lord will give you a crown, meaning if should a brother do pass away in the custody of Esau, guess what? He's going to receive a crown. He's going to get them new bodies. He's going to be with the Lord immediately. So we can't fear it, but just know that this devil, he can drum it up, and he gonna drum it. Yeah, real quick. Last point. Matthew 24, Verse 9, it says, Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And we already hated now. We hated by these other nations. They want to be us. They want to dance like us. They want to move like us. They want to talk like us. They want to groove like us. But they not us. And that's a jealousy. So guess what? And they hate that. But they also, people going to be trying to deliver us up. Oh yeah, I heard he said he was an Israelite. And they're going to be going behind people's back and telling Esau. Going behind Akim back and stuff like that. And it's going to be people that's close to you. Or that say they family, that's going to be crossing you like this. People are going to be offended by the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. They're offended now. As a matter of fact, I ain't going to say people are going to be offended. They're offended now. But they're going to be delivering us up. They're going to, like, people go, oh, yeah, because you know how this devil is. Oh, if anybody says such and such and such, this person, they say they're this and they're that, we'll give you a reward. So people are going to be really coming wrong at the men of the Lord. And guess what? That's going to be to their demise. And any words that we speak is going to condemn them. Because they're going to know that they was wrong. But yeah. Get ready. It's going to happen. With that, shalom.